Morning. Morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Morning. Morning.
It might be evening.
That's what people do as they walk the streets in the UK in the morning. They go, morning. If they're brave.
Oh dear, I was thinking of other walking the streets as well in the morning, but there we are. Yeah.
Walking what?
You know, working people walking the streets.
Working girls ain't going to be walking the streets in the morning, Paul.
Might be working boys, who knows?
No, not in the morning. That doesn't happen. That's a night time. That's a nocturnal activity. Anyway, shush now, Paul. You're out of control. Already. So welcome to the show, which is called...
Sunday Chat.
That's right. This is a weekly show of Paul and I sitting here on our sofa here in West London.
Londinium.
And just talking about the week.
And rubbish. Yeah. Well, me,
Well,
anyway.
Just turn off now if you want to, if it's a load of old rubbish. And just switch off now and don't bother. Now that you've gone, we'll carry on.
Yeah.
So yes, it's a weekly show, and we're very grateful. We give thanks, and we're grateful for your company, for your subscribership, and thank you.
And hitting the bell and getting notifications.
Yes, remember to be subscribed, because we noticed that something like 28% of you watch without subscribing.
And how many is that in 100?
It's 28.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, we've got those percentages right then.
I have a fountain pen here.
Just one. Yeah.
With purple ink.
Oh, has it got purple ink at the moment? Of course. Oh, yes.
My lovely purple, because my fountain pen is purple.
Mm.
She's called Beverly. She's a Beverly. She's a cross pen. Beverly. So it's purple lacquer. So I wanted purple ink. So I got purple ink.
He did. Is it? It's not Quink, is it?
No, it's Waterman's.
Waterman's. There we are.
I think. Yeah. Anywho, Paul,
We
let's
used to
start
have
the show.
in our desk when I went to school, secondary school, we were still writing with ink pens. There was still sort of ink there, but then it stopped very, very quickly and went into biros.
We had to write with ink.
Yeah.
It had to be an ink pen. But then, again with ours. And we had the old style desks.
Yeah, we did.
With the lift up lid, with a hole for your inkwell.
Where a little glass file bowl thing would be in the inkwell.
And you had all your little bits and pieces that you had to have, your math set, your doodahs and your la-las.
Do they have
What are they called? A set square?
Set squares. Geometry set.
What's the half moon one? You know, it's like a half circle. What's it called? Protractor.
Protractor.
And the doodahs, the pinchers.
Compass.
A pair of compasses. That's what they were called, weren't they?
I had a lovely one
in a ruler. A shatterproof ruler.
Which weren't shatterproof sometimes. Not always.
Nice.
No.
Nice.
God, yeah. And pencils. I used to love pencils.
Memories of school days.
I still like writing with a pencil.
Do you?
Yeah, I
write with a pencil at work.
I still like writing with a pencil. The thing is, of course, in many things you can't write with a pencil because of, pencil's not permanent. So
isn't it?
No, it's not, and that's why there was a lot of sort of documents that obviously can't be written in pencil.
I think
where
people
a lot
know
of
that
people
pencil
used
isn't
to do.
permanent, Paul.
I
You don't
know,
need to tell
I'm
people
just
that. Shock horror. Anyway, we're getting on with the show now. Shush now, Paul.
Sunday Chat!
That's it. Welcome to new subscribers who've recently joined us as a result of watching my clothes drying hack video. Yeah, that was me.
That was him.
That was me.
Yeah.
I know I'm wearing the same clothes.
Well, you only ever wear that in the winter, don't you?
Well, I do wear this. I sometimes wear yours, which is a darker shade of blue.
Yeah. And then I can't wear mine.
Well, you don't wear yours. You wear the grey fleece that I bought you.
Well, no, but I do wear the blue ones. I wore the blue one last week.
Did you?
Yeah.
No. Anyway, welcome new subscribers to our channel. You are very welcome. Thank you. Bloody thank you.
Welcome, very welcome. Bloody thank you.
I'm being nice.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
It's just so unusual.
I'm just saying extra words to make myself sound nice.
Yeah.
I think it's working.
Oh, I've worked with a lot of people like that just have extraneous words. Mind you, I think I do that, don't I? Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, and also if you're new, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Richard and Paul, and also our private Facebook group, Planet Vegetaria. That's a Facebook group by Richard and Paul. Richard and Paul since 2017. That's contractual.
But answer the questions.
Yeah, we've had, a few people trying to join, and the computer tells us these people have not answered the questions. Therefore, what's going to happen is it's not going to let you in.
Yeah.
The answers really aren't brain surgery.
No, they don't
They're
take
very
up too much time.
The questions aren't brain surgery. Did I say answers?
Well, I think the answers aren't brain surgery
Well,
either.
neither of them are brain surgery. Just answer them and then you'll be allowed in.
And how many questions are there?
4?
4, yes, we said 3. There are actually 3 questions that get answered. Then you have to abide by the rules. So that's the 4th.
So, you know.
Somebody spotted that last
But
week.
please, come, join us, answer the questions and come through to the cult that is Richard and Paul. Join us. Is that what you're going to say? Honestly.
I'm not adding extraneous words.
Shush, I'm in a flow now. You're disturbing me. And also, if you want to support us, you can join our coffee supporters page, where you can buy us a coffee. We've got coffee this morning. I don't drink mine at the moment.
Why, is it as hot as the surface of the sun?
Yes. So, yes, lots of ways you can join us and join in the fun and the frolics.
We should do a frolicking video one day, wouldn't we, in a wheat field or something. Yeah, that would be lovely.
Have you ever frolicked? Can you skip?
I can...
No, I don't mean with a rope, I mean skipping.
I think I'd fall over.
Well then, don't do it. So, we usually kick off the show with Richard and Paul's weather report. What has the weather been like this week, Paul?
Mixed. Very mixed. It's been cold, then it's got a bit milder. It's been grey. It's been really sunny. So actually it's been very mixed. And we're going into now, from today, from Sunday, it's the 1st of December, which for us is meteorological winter.
Winter.
So yes, we're moving from autumn to winter in a matter of a moment.
Well, I'm so glad you told us that, Paul.
We were having a bit of a Barney over the sofa yesterday about what was winter and what I said, no, winter doesn't start for 2 days. And you were going, well, no, it's winter.
No, I didn't say that, Paul. I was saying it to wind you up.
Yeah, he was doing quite well.
You took the bait.
Yeah, I took the bait, yeah.
I know it's not. I mean, winter doesn't start proper.
Like?
I mean, look, the year is divided up roughly, isn't it? December, January, February is generally classed as winter months.
Yeah.
Yeah?
And then on either side of that can be a bit colder.
Yeah. But of course we're moving rapidly towards the winter solstice now. So the days are getting shorter and shorter and shorter until that point when things seem to stand still.
For about
few
4 or 5 days, isn't it?
Well, then mysteriously
They
on
are.
Christmas Day, the sun appears to be reborn. Funny that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Still cool, though.
Yeah, it
Still
is
cool,
It is cool.
isn't it?
However, we did go out for a walk on Friday, and both of us were pretty warm.
We were overdressed. But last week, last Sunday, that was crazy. It was 17 degrees
Oh, it was.
outside.
It
and of
was.
course, we had the free electricity morning.
We
where
did.
we had 2 hours of free electricity over your average use.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Paul, tell everybody the results of what we saved.
Well, we saved...
First of all, what did we have on for those 2 hours?
We had 2 heaters, we
Yeah.
had the oven...
Electric. This is electricity.
Electricity, not gas. We had the oven, we had...
All the lights on.
Yeah, every single light.
No, not all of them. We had a few lights left on that we wouldn't normally leave on.
We had our phones charging.
Devices charging, my tablet.
Yeah, and that's about it.
I think that washing machine, I put a wash
And
on.
we put a wash on.
Dishwasher.
That's right. Dishwasher
as
went
well.
on. Yeah.
So, dishwasher, 2 heaters, washing machine, lights, devices charging, check. 2 hours. How much did that cost extra?
£1.88.
£1.88.
So we got a credit on our bill yesterday of £1.88 because that was the amount over our average that we had spent. So yeah, I'm glad we did that because there's various things in the freezer that we cooked in the oven that are now in the freezer. And yeah, it was rather nice and toasty, wasn't it?
£1.88.
And of course it was a milder day.
So we didn't actually need the heaters on.
Well, we did at that... It was still a bit chilly at that time, wasn't it? Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
I think it's a bit measly.
Oh,
Working it out as £1.88, I think it's measly. And I think it's... Yeah. I mean, I do hope that everybody took advantage of that.
Well, there were quite a few other suppliers we found out that subscribers said that they have similar things. So I think one with British Gas, which also supplies electricity, I think that was a whole morning of additional.
I think Octopus should give us a whole morning, actually.
Well, there are some saving sessions coming up as well, and
Good.
those saving sessions are where if you don't use electricity, they pay you for the electricity you didn't use. Which is an interesting one, but obviously those saving sessions are usually around times where people are really using ovens and doing cooking, so between 5 and 6 p.m. Peak times, yeah. So if you can use the electricity outside of peak times, it's a bit cheaper. And of course I think there's still Economy 7 for some people, where if you have your cheap rate from sort of midnight till 6 a.m. or something, and people do their washing and drying if they've got a dryer in that time. So yeah.
Well,
anyway, I was happy to receive £1.88 credit for energy we had used additionally.
Yes,
so, yeah.
Let's be grateful. I'd be grateful if they just brought the prices down.
Well, I think the
Really?
standing charges are ludicrous. The Ofgem has allowed those standing charges to creep up and up, and it's ludicrous because Ofgem is certainly working for the benefit of the energy suppliers rather than customers, which is not the case. That's my opinion, and of course it's true.
But talking about energy usage, I'm delighted that so many people have watched my clothes drying hack. If you haven't, it's here. But that piece of equipment that I'm using uses next to nothing. No, the reason I was bringing it up was a few people had said, oh, we'd like more hacks from you. We'd like more household tips and stuff like that. What?
Magpie.
So we wanted to draw to your attention that we've kind of already been there and done that already. I'm not saying there won't be more, but we did a series a couple of years ago now, a few years ago.
Quite a few years ago, yeah.
Called Wily Wednesday. And every Wednesday we did a new household tip type video of various things.
Yeah.
A whole wide range of hints, tips and tricks.
Some things are at the allotment as well.
The allotment, cooking, household cleaning, air freshening, blah, blah, blah.
A host of
So
things.
if you haven't already checked out the playlist, check it out. Wiley Wednesday. Wiley as in being a little bit clever
Yeah.
and thrifty.
Yeah.
So there we are.
Not
That's-
Willy Wednesday, as some
That's the
people
reason
put.
why I was going down that thread.
I think that's very good of you and very clever.
Honestly. So this week's been also weather-wise a good week for sunrises and sunsets, I've noticed. We've
Yeah.
had a couple of really stunning skies. And if you want to see more of those, go to our Instagram page and follow us there, because that's where they're going to be, with regular photos and reels. Lovely. Remember, if you want it all, watch Richard and Paul. Now, I don't know why I've written this down, but I think it was to do with coincidences. I've written down the Hexam Heads
Hexam Heads.
and Lady Godiva.
I know Lady Godiva. What's Hexam Heads?
Well, both of these things kind of popped up on my timeline, I think on Facebook. And both of them are in this book, which I've mentioned before. I've been having these strange coincidences recently.
Synchronicities.
Synchronicities and coincidences. And one was the Hexam Heads, which was a video on Nationwide, which was a magazine program.
Yeah.
And it was a spooky one.
Yeah.
And it was about this woman who had these visions of this sort of wolf-like creature, like a werewolf, in her house. And her daughter had seen it as well. And she was a doctor. And she happens to be featured in the introductory passage of this book, which is kind of talking about ghost stories and witnesses, and how very often legends come about because the story isn't reliably relayed over time, and they were talking that sometimes an eyewitness account from a reputable person is what you have to rely on. And it was this doctor, I can't remember her name, Dr. Dudar, that's what we'll call her, who was on this Hexam Head program as well, which was infamous because it showed a very brief clip of a werewolf which frightened the life out of children across the country. So that popped up, and then something about Lady Godiva popped up as well.
And that's in the book as well.
And Lady Godiva features in this book. And it's weird because I was thinking about Lady Godiva. I'll tell you about her in a minute. But how you don't really see much about her these days. But in the 70s,
it was a big
seemed as
thing.
though
Every year.
there was some reenactment.
But there was,
happening.
wasn't there? There was a reenactment every single year. Whether that still goes on now,
Well, this
I don't
is what
know.
I was going to ask, actually. If anybody's from Coventry, let us know if the Lady Godiva reenactment takes place. So, very, very basically, Lady Godiva was the husband of Earl somebody or other. The husband, not the husband, the wife.
Yeah, I was thinking that through. Yeah.
Sorry. The wife.
Very modern for
Yes, very
Coventry,
modern.
Yeah.
She was the wife of Earl Dudar from somewhere or other.
So was Earl Dudar related to Dr. Dudar?
Yeah.
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 And anyway, Earl Dudar wasn't very nice, and he was taxing people left, right and centre, and basically Lady Godiva said to him, if you carry on doing this, I'm going to parade through the streets of Coventry naked on a horse. And anyway, this is what she did, supposedly. And it was said that, everybody had to avert their gaze and not look at Lady Godiva as she was going through the streets, lest they be struck blind. And one man did, and he was Peeping Tom. And that's where you get the phrase Peeping Tom from. But in this book, in my Folklore, Myths and Legends of Great Britain,
Yeah, I think we got it.
the famous book, it basically says there are really no reliable accounts
Of Lady Godiva.
what exactly. No, she was a person.
Yeah, she was a person, but did she actually do it?
Yeah, and was she actually naked, or was she supposedly covered with her own hair?
Yeah, that's the thing, because I remember that in all of the depictions, the images in books and things that we read at the time, she had long golden or long silvery hair, didn't she? That sort of fell across her in a very sort of voluptuous way, but concealed anything that might be titillating for children of our age. Well, titillating for children, but maybe titillating for other people.
I think fun for children. No, titillation would have been the men. Children don't think in that way, do they?
No, maybe not.
Really. We just go as children, don't we?
Yeah, carry on.
As we did when we were kids at the picture of Lady Godiva in here, which is in her full breasted glory. Let's put it that way. Full tittage. Or as they say in Fab, full tit and minge. Yeah. But yeah, that was a bit of a sort of coincidence that occurred this week. And I guess, I don't think I said Lady Godiva out loud at all for my phone to pick up on it.
No, but if it came up on your phone and then you clicked on it and read about it, Google would have gone, oh, he's interested in Lady Godiva, so we'll give him more coincidences like that.
We'll give him more.
Yeah.
Full tit and minge.
Yeah.
Anyway.
T&M.
Yeah. So, Paul, you wanted to mention a story this week that you'd seen in the press about Peter and that pub, the Sly Fox.
The Sly Fox.
I saw that as well, and I did think, really? I'm going to drink my coffee now.
Maybe it's cooled down. So this was a story, it was reporting of a letter that a pub called the Sly Fox had received from the organisation PETA, that's People for the Treatment of... Ethical Treatment of Animals, PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. And they had said that the pub should change the name of itself from the Sly Fox to the Cunning Fox or something sort of similar, because sly was a derogatory term and it was demeaning to foxes. And I read this story and it's sort of... I understand why they did it, and I think it's just to get coverage, really. We have many traditional names of pubs in the UK, and the Sly Fox or the Cunning Fox or something, similar.
Or the Fox.
Or the Fox, as our local pub is. They're all there, and they all have some local sort of connection to them, and they usually have a story. And I'm sure that the Sly Fox, there is a story that goes behind it somewhere. But I read this and I thought, this is just, hopefully, this is just a group of people at PETA saying we're not getting enough coverage at the moment, we need to come up with something. And writing this letter, because they can't be serious in saying that using the word Sly Fox is demeaning to foxes. I just think that's rather ridiculous.
Does it reinforce, what I read said it reinforced the notion that foxes are complete pests, that they will kill things just for the sake of killing them, and it sort of compounds that reputation that foxes have, therefore making the public more wary of the fox. Foxes, look, generally, before we had wheelie bins, foxes were a bit of a nuisance because they would tear open your rubbish bin that you'd put outside, your litter would be strewn everywhere, all over the street. But
why?
that was
why
it.
was that? Why
But
was
that's
that?
it.
Yes, but why was that?
Because they're looking for food.
Because us humans think that we can dominate everything, so we spread out our villages, our towns, and our cities to greater and greater hectarage, and we build more houses on land that has been used by foxes for millennia.
But that aside, we have to live with them.
Not
We have
that
to live
aside.
with them.
Absolutely, we have to live with them. So we should accept that we're the ones encroaching on their territory, and be understanding and accepting of them. It's as simple as that.
But they are filthy creatures.
Well, they're no more filthy than
They
any
stink.
other creatures.
Their poo stinks.
Well, it does,
and their
but
wee. And if they've done anything in the vicinity of your house, you're going to know about it. Do you remember that day we had to hose everything
can I just
down?
go? They do have smelly poos, but their poos are smellier if they have been eating food that has been made available by humans, basically. If they're out eating their normal, foods that they would eat in the wild, their poos are a little bit smelly, but not, horrendous. But if they're eating garbage and things, which is sort of, rotting from bins and things like that.
Right, we get it. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I know you're playing devil's advocate, and I'm saying foxes are actually lovely. Yes, they're wild animals. They are wild animals. So, we should understand and respect that.
Yeah, because otherwise they'll eat your children. Yeah, no, I know, but that's the way that man is.
In fact, in the 70s, there was a lot of stories in the papers about foxes coming into homes. People, in new build estates. New build estates, leaving doors open and foxes coming in, and people finding foxes in their homes. So, yeah.
Several people have been bitten in London.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they have. They are wild animals, It's when you come into your house, you should shut the door, there. Anyway, there we are. Yeah, I just think this letter that went off to the Sly Fox pub was just a way of grabbing a few headlines before Christmas.
Anyway, let's move on. It's time for a word for every day of the year. I think I said week last week, didn't I? By Stephen Poole.
Well, it's word of the week
it's
from...
our word of the week.
Yeah.
So, 1st of December. 1er December. Will that be soon?
Well, it's usually at sort of like between the 2nd and the 30th.
Nice. Different, unusual.
We haven't watched Kath and Kim for a few weeks either.
The word is sprucify.
Ooh!
It is a shame to write that you aim to spruce up something when there is a pretty word, sprucify, lying around neglected. To sprucify has meant to neaten or decorate, or if you will, to pimp up, since the early 17th century. This is because in the 14th and 15th centuries, spruce was another name for Prussia, whence luxury goods were often imported.
Oh, right.
Such as spruce leather and spruce ochre dye.
Right.
The spruce tree, in turn, was so named because this source of excellent wood was believed to be native to Prussia as well. In Victorian times, Christmas trees were put up on the afternoon of Christmas Eve.
Yeah, not 3 months before.
But these days, it is more common and more festive to have them around for the whole month.
Certainly more common, yeah.
Certainly more common. In Britain, the most common species for this application is the Norway spruce, So in decorating it today, you can happily say that you are sprucifying your spruce. Lovely. That's a good one. I like that word.
That is a good one. And I always thought it had something to do with the spruce tree, but I didn't understand that it's the spruce tree that had something to do with Prussia. That's really interesting. Thank you, Richard, for that. That was unusually exciting. Yeah. Are we going to have a tree?
No.
I might bring a few twigs back from the
No,
allotment.
I don't want anything resembling Christmas in this house, thank you very much.
I think if I got a tub of glue and I kept all the bits of twigs that arrive in my hair back home over the whole year of being at the allotment, I'd be able to build a little Christmas tree with those twigs. And occasionally you get berries in there as well. So, you know...
And then when I see it, I'll probably think, what is that? Oh, that needs to go in the bin. The only thing I want resembling Christmas in this house at this time of year is chocolate.
Yeah, there is. There are two biscuit things that I bought. Little Hanoffron biscuits.
Have you bought those for us?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
why aren't they open?
Because one box is for Christmas Day and one box is for Boxing Day.
I don't think I'll be eating that amount of biscuits in one day.
I'm not sure. I think you might.
No, I'm going to be good this year.
Oh.
I really am. I'm going to be good because I have noticed recently I am putting a little bit of weight on.
Oh, I put a stone on.
So,
I need to. Yeah.
I do have to be careful. No.
I put a stone back on. It's that sort of, you know, up and down and up and down.
Yes.
Yeah. Somebody did say to me the other day, well, it is winter. And I said, yeah, but I put it on over the last year, so I'm not sure why winter's got anything to do with it. There we go. Oh.
Anywho, Paul, it's time for the final segment of the show, which is what have we watched on television this week?
Yeah,
well,
it's
what
been
have
quite
we?
a lot.
So, yeah, Discovery on Paramount. We finished Star Trek Discovery Season 5, which is the final season.
Yeah. And they should have finished it at Season 4, really.
Yeah, we found it indulgent, ponderous, and
not very dramatic.
I mean, look,
in many ways.
at the end of the day, Discovery is the whole 5 seasons of the story of Michael Burnham. It's her story.
Yeah.
And it kind of, if you looked at it that way, it rounded it off quite nicely.
Yeah.
You know, it sort of had a flash forward, and you know, I'm not going to tell you in case you haven't watched it, but the way that the story was being told, I mean, for example, oh my God, we've only got an hour until the ship arrives and it kills us all. So what are we going to do? Well, let's talk about our sexuality first of all for 10 minutes. What?
Yeah.
There's a ship arriving through warp space in moments that's going to destroy you all, but you're going to talk about your sexuality for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
In a pondering, supportive way.
Or how home is so important, and you know, growing up and being in the moment is really, and it's like, oh,
they made a meal out of everything, an emotional meal out of everything. It just doesn't work. I mean, we understand that Star Trek is all about inclusivity.
Yeah.
For everybody, all these different types of people across the universe, all of that, the rainbow of people and creatures and respect to everybody, blah, blah, blah. We get that. But it just seemed so slow at points.
Well, it was like build up, there's going to be a battle. We'll just take half an hour now to discuss our lives and how they've gone and how we've all interwoven, and it's like, honestly. And we were sitting there, weren't we?
Going,
oh, here we go again.
Really?
Oh.
It's the equivalent of when a programme has far too much sex in it.
Yeah. And you go, okay, they've gone into the bedroom, we get it,
They've
move
embraced, they're passionately kissing, we know what happens next.
Yeah.
Cut, next scene. But no, they go on just a little bit longer. And that's when it starts to become a little bit titillating, It's like, okay, we get that, that's fine. How lovely. Next.
However, I do like the Shirley Valentine sex bits or the airplane sex bits where suddenly when she's on the boat, the crashing of the waves and all of that. Yeah, I love it. That's hilarious. That was brilliant.
But that's what films used to do. There'd be a rocket going into the sky or, whatever.
Be a sort of volcano and ground moving and then a rocket going off.
Great.
Yeah, fun. Yeah.
We don't need a soft porn movie, thank you very much.
No.
Thank you. So, we finished that. Thank goodness that's over with, frankly. But we would like to watch Strange New Worlds because I'm hoping that's going to be a little bit more traditional Star Trek. Thank you. Anyway, Canal Boat Diaries on BBC4. This is the story of this guy, Robbie, who travels up and down the canals of Great Britain. And it's quite
very
fun.
It's relaxing. It's a bit tense in moments for Richard.
I find it a bit stressful when he's having to fish weed from the propellers.
The one thing that Richard does not like is boat hulls and water.
No.
He does not like that. It doesn't matter whether it's like a giant ship or a small canal boat.
No,
he does not like that. So when Robbie is delving down into the weed box to get the weed off the propeller,
I'm squirming just thinking about it. My feet are squirming, my toes are curling. No.
But it's enjoyable and it's
locks.
Yeah, he doesn't.
I don't like locks. I can just about walk over one.
I think we did suggest, or I said about going on a canal boat once, and we have thought about it a few times, but you said that the Norfolk Broads...
Norfolk Broads is better.
Because there's no locks.
But it's still a boat, but they're not narrow boats. They're cruisers, so I think they're a little bit easier to manoeuvre.
We know a few people who live on canal boats, and I think you have to be a certain type of person to live on a canal boat.
I'm not that type of person.
No, you're not, definitely. No. I don't think I am either. No.
We also watched Perfect Pub Walks on Channel 4 with Bill Bailey and a guest.
Yeah.
And that's quite good.
Last week it was Trevor McDonald, and this week that's just gone by. It was Paul Merton, who most people will know from...
Have I Got
News for You? Interesting. And for Vivi, it starts off at the Globe bit in Swanage, and it's a walk along the Swanage coast there.
Yes.
Or from Swanage, yeah.
We watched another walking programme, Walking With, and this is a different person each week, carrying a 360-degree handheld camera, which is recording everything all of the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's extraordinary camera.
And this week was Jim Moyer, who is better known as Vic Reeves, the comedian and musician as well.
Yeah.
He's a singer, isn't he?
Yeah. Again, interesting.
It was
people
good.
they meet along the way.
Well, it was down at on the Kent coast, down where our friends live. And Dungeness.
Yeah.
So that was particularly fascinating because
and he went on the train.
And he went on the light railway.
Light railway train. Yeah.
The Romney, Hythe and Dymchurch
Railway.
Yeah. That was quite fun to watch. We continue with Between the Covers on BBC Two, which is book reviews.
I think that's finished for its series now. Yeah.
We watched Have I Got News for You, which is BBC One.
Yeah, which was a good edition.
We continue with D.I. Ray on ITV, which is, it's quite good.
We're watching an episode every night or every other night at the moment.
I mean, they're putting her through the ringer.
They are.
And I hope that there is a good outcome.
Well, I hope at the end of this one there was, because we know at the end of the last one she sold everything and did everything, and then they were, haranguing
through
her.
the ringer again. I mean, when we say she's being put through the ringer, she is being, what's the word?
What is the word?
Scapegoated.
Oh yeah.
But racially scapegoated.
Yeah.
And it's kind of highlighting the issues that people have from ethnic minorities in organisations such as the police force.
Yeah.
Which is well known. It's a well known thing. I mean, obviously something that they're trying to
wheedle out.
Yeah, get rid of.
Wheedle, yeah.
But clearly it still goes on. So yeah, that's interesting angle, and you're kind of rooting for her.
Whoa.
But in a way she's self-sabotaging.
Well, yeah.
Certainly in terms of her love life, and her love life has become slightly entangled with her work. That's the other issue that she's got. So she's weaving a tangled web herself because of her own needs.
But there's an interesting bit with her and her mum, and she's always seen her mum in a particular way, and her mum came into this, I think it's the 4th episode of this series, and cooks her a meal, and you see sort of, some very tender moments going on, and then she realises maybe she's seen her mother in a different... She's understood differently what her mother has been doing. So mother's just been trying to give her the best life she can by working hard. Of course, this is now what she's doing, even though she has no children. So, yeah.
We started a new series called Smoggy Queens.
Oh, we did, yes.
Which is really good.
Yeah.
The only thing I
BBC
find...
Three.
BBC Three, Smoggy Queens. And it's about a group of friends in the northeast.
Middlesbrough, northeast of England.
And starring Michelle Visage.
Yeah, she's in it. I wouldn't say she's starring in it, but she's in it.
But the one thing I noticed, it's not drag queens playing those parts.
No, it's not. No, Mark Benton plays one of the characters. Mark Benton has been a very busy actor for decades.
Yes.
A lot of things.
Very
he's been
much
in.
so. He's done a hell of a lot, and he's brilliant in it.
Yeah,
he's really, really good. But I wonder whether they did audition any drag queens for it.
Well, I don't know.
Because drag queens aren't actors.
No, they're not. They're not.
Not all. Some of them are.
Some of them
but
are.
Not all of them
Not all of them are. Yeah.
So that's not their
forte.
Profession and their forte.
Yeah.
So it's probably the reason. But I thought it was interesting. But the performers in it are brilliant, and there is great conviction in their performances. And yeah, it's really entertaining.
Laugh out loud.
It's got a dark humour to it.
Very dark, yeah. Not as dark as 90 Night, which was 2 decades ago.
It has moments that are very similar to 90 Night.
It does, yeah. 90 Night was a BBC 2 programme about 2 decades ago.
BBC 3.
BBC 3 didn't exist then, did it?
Yes, it did.
Did it?
That's when BBC 3 was
3,
starting.
okay, yeah. Was that 3 Non-Blondes and all of
Yeah,
that? Oh, right,
all those comedy sketches
and it was
programmes.
really, really dark and very funny.
But anyway, Smoggy Queens, BBC 3, highly recommended. Really, really good fun. I can't wait to watch the remaining episodes. How many did we watch last night? 2.
We watched 2.
How many episodes are there? Do we know?
I don't know. And they visited Whitby as one of the places.
It is absolutely... Yeah. It takes a lot for me to laugh out loud. It really has to be funny.
And a bit twisted.
And it's got to be it has to be twisted and a little bit dark. But it made me laugh out loud several times. And yeah, this is one of the reasons why I want to go to Whitby.
Is it?
Well, it's full of interesting characters.
It is, yeah.
Certainly at certain times of the year when they
Yeah.
have their festivals.
Absolutely, yeah.
But, you know,
yeah.
those kind of places attract. You can kind of be yourself.
And
If you want to frolic down the road in Whitby, I'm sure you could get away with it.
I'm sure you would, yeah. And what is Whitby well known for?
Dracula. Yeah.
The landing place of Dracula.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is
and-
obviously a true story. Yeah.
Yeah, it's completely true.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
We finish off RuPaul's Drag Race UK season 6. The finale.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to say who won. It wasn't my favourite.
It was my near favourite. My favourite actually went out last week. My second favourite, who I thought should win it, didn't.
No, I'm afraid she wasn't my favourite. She was good, but not my favourite.
I do think it was the wrong 4 in the finale this time. I really do. Lil should have been in the top 4. Lil is better than Releaser, definitely. But hey ho, I'm not a judge.
No, you're not.
No.
And that's it.
That's it.
That's it for this week's show.
Sunday Chat
Yes.
is over.
So, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Oh, pardon me.
I was doing a thank you and you were doing a pardon me. Oh,
I wasn't
dear.
doing a heartfelt.
No, I was. I was like, well, I wasn't doing it that heartfelt. But yeah.
Naturally, it's heartfelt.
Yeah, totally.
Thank you for everything. You're all marvellous.
Yeah.
We love you.
Oh, bananas!
Tits and bums.
Did you see that banana?
The
The
banana
banana got eaten.
I'm not going there
Ridiculous.
because I just find that whole thing.
£2.9 million.
6.2.
Was it 6 point? Oh, ridiculous.
I find that illustrates everything that's wrong with this world.
Absolutely, totally.
But
Yeah.
anyway, let's say goodbye. Say goodbye. Say goodbye.
Bye bye, everybody. See you next
Come
week.
again. We hope
Bye.
you enjoyed it.
Bye.
Bye.
Do comment down below
Comment
and say
down
how wonderful
below,
we are.
subscribe and watch
Bye,
all the adverts.
and like us and all of that. Bye.
Enjoy it like us.